Unbreak my heart, say you'll love me again. Hey everybody, Greco Fabulous here with my ferret friends. I've run out of ideas. Get out of my room! I've run out of ideas for intros to my videos, so I'm basically using props now. Anyways, today we're gonna get thrifty and check out some things that I picked up at a thrift shop, or several thrift shops, from here to the great state of Maine, East Coast thrifted. So let's start with some Blitio Bames. So here we have the iconic Double Dragon handheld game made by Tiger Electronics. And for the older generation out there, we have Football 2 by Mattel and Digital Diamond by Tomy. 1978? Anything that old should be dead by now. Alright, let's pop in some batteries and experience the next level of gaming. Okay, so the fun might not translate over video, but I've always been drawn to these type of games. Plus, I've always admired any type of game that incorporated electronics with moving parts, like this Digital Diamond game right here. Admittedly though, the nostalgia wore off pretty quickly, and since then, I've traded these for Transformer parts. Shocker! Speaking of things that I don't need, here are some Dick Tracy clip-on magnets. I was a big fan of the movie, but I don't need this stuff. Unless, of course, we're talking about his wrist radio. Then I absolutely need it.
Tracy to kids. Tracy to kids. Come in, kids. Come in, kids. It's here at last. The new Dick Tracy two-way wrist radio that keeps you in constant touch with your buddies. Easy to work. Up antenna. Switch on. Press talk button. And you broadcast from room to room. And even house to house. No wires needed, yet voices travel back and forth. Radio on the open road from one bike to another, or when out hiking.
Dad, I found a bear's cave!
Be right down, son.
But for 50 cents a piece, it was worth the nostalgia thrill. Plus, it reminded me of my ex. Speaking of exes, we got the Professor of X here. This is my very first Uncanny Axeman. Axeman? Shut up! I'm always on the fence whether or not to collect this toy line. I was a big fan of the animated series as a kid, I had plenty of the figures back then as well, but it's just not something that I want to actively pursue. It's like that girl in high school who's crushing you, you know? You don't really want to end up with her, but you keep her around because it makes you feel good. Except in my case, I was that girl. So those were all the things I picked up in thrift shops in Maine while we vacationed over the summer. My wife also picked up this Little People's Dork House and a stuffed Paddington Bear from deepest, darkest Peru. So now let's head on back home. Do not adjust your computer screens. Yes, I actually bought something comic book related. Saw these guys at the Salvation Army for 50 cents a piece, and even I couldn't pass it up. So as you can see, we got volumes 1 through 6 of The Walking Dead. The only comic book I ever read. And here was another neat little pickup from the Salvation Army, a Fisher-Price movie viewer. Basically what you do is you insert a cassette tape like this, and then become the king of cartoons! So now I can rub it in the faces of all those snot-nosed kids with their stupid Viewmasters. I got moving pictures. So here's my entire library, which I can enjoy all to myself. And please disregard that comic book. That's another moment of weakness brought to you by Savers, where we're going next. So more often than not, the mixed bag section isn't something that yields results to my liking. But one day, it was like they tailor-made it just for me. And I received all of these 80s action figures for $2.99. We have Battle Damaged Skeletor from Masters of the Universe, Deep Six from G.I. Joe, a GoBot Arco Cat Pistol, and a Hulk Hogan thumb wrestler. Oh, brother! More often than not though, I'm walking away with some random stuff that produce a fleeting moment of euphoria, like this miniature Little Tikes Cozy Coupe toy car. We all had this car growing up, and now I have a smaller version of it. Whee! The original driver was actually a Hamburglar Beanie Baby, but he cannot be found at the time of filming. And rounding out the Savers Bag Toys section is this Red Dragon Thunder Zord from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This wasn't part of the Power Rangers that I watched, but it was still close enough that it was worth the $1.99 price tag. Now here's something I actually did play with. Remember Tamagotchis?
Well, if it isn't Tamagotchi, her new favorite pet.
Yes.
So what's that make me, fish sticks?
Oh, are you hungry?
Oh, no. By all means, feed it. Play till your heart's content.
Look, Goldie. I took good care of her, and she changed again.
Change? How about changing some water here?
Katie, Buzz is here.
So Tamagotchi can pause. I can pause, too. Want to see that again?
Tamagotchi, the original virtual reality pet. Your care determines the pets you get from Bandai.
So given that I have actual human children, I was curious how I would fare as a parent to a virtual pet. So for the next few weeks I tended to its every waking need. I fed it, I played with it, I cleaned up its poop, everything that it needed. But apparently it wasn't enough and it passed away at the ripe old age of 18 years. Everyone grieves in their own way. Me, I get right back on the saddle. And this time, I wanted to make my own robot. And that's how I created Skynet. So I don't know what the heck a Popoid is, but I think I'm about to find out.
It's the Popoid's Colossal Cosmic Set. They're silly, they're wacky, and they bend and pose like wacky, and they make a friendly popping noise. They're Popoids. You can make them into rockets, into little Popoid cars, or snap them all together, build a Popoid man from Mars, with a rippling, tickling, popping noise. They're Popoids. Oh, Popoid's Colossal Cosmic Set by Tommy.
Yep, I pretty much just got it because it was old. But the thing next to it, a 200-piece Pokemon puzzle, is definitely right up my alley. It features the original, and as far as I'm concerned, only 150 Pokemon. Alright, so let's round out the last few things that I picked up from Savers. Here we got a really cool all-wooden space shuttle by Hoppe. This beast retails for $100, so getting it for $6, even without any accessories, was a total steal. Is it obvious that my parents never sent me to space camp? Then I picked up a copy of Bioshock and Bioshock 2 for the Xbox 360. A couple games that I never played, but I pretty much only bought these because they were $2.99 each. And lastly, we'll end this video with a tale of triumph and tragedy. Found a pristine Sega Dreamcast system, one of my favorite systems of all time, for only $14.99 for the console and $5.99 for this blue colored controller. Unfortunately, I'm a money-grubbing idiot and sold the console for like $10 profit on eBay. Alright everybody, thank you for watching my video. I hope you liked it. I know these guys didn't, so I'm gonna go straight to the vet and have them put to sleep. Good night!